Example 1. Write as a single power of 2. Okay. Part A, we have the third root of 2. Now, if you think about this general rule that the nth root of a can be replaced by a to the power 1 over n, introduced in a previous video, you can now use this. Your base here is number 2, so number 2 is corresponding to a here, and your number 3 here is n. Okay, these two correspond. So you can use this information and replace it as 2 to the power of 1/3. And this is it, because this is a single power of 2. Now let's do part B. In part B we have 1 over square root of 2. Now again, you already know that the square root of a is just a to the power of 1/2, because the square root is the second root actually. So therefore this can be replaced by 1 over, and the square root here in the denominator is just 2 to the power of 1/2. Okay, now using another formula about powers, which says that a to the power of negative n is 1 over a to the power of n. If you use it, this time n can be any number, any rational number, then if you look here, number 2 is your base and corresponds to this a here, and 1/2 is an exponent and corresponds to this number n here. And therefore, you can rewrite this using the left-hand side of the law as 2 to the power of negative n, where n is 1/2. So it's 2 to the power of negative 1/2. And this should be the correct answer to this part. Let's do part C. In part C, we have the fifth root of 4. Okay? So, to proceed here, you have to realize that 4 is 2 times 2, or 2 to the power of 2. So we can replace it like the fifth root of 2 to the power of 2. Now, look at number 2 as at your base. This should be your base. And invoke a formula or a law which was derived in the previous video, which says that the nth root of a to the power of m is just a to the fraction m over n. So this time, if you look at this and try to find the corresponding parts, this 5 here, well, I will use another color perhaps, this number 5 here corresponds to n, because it tells you what kind of root this is, and this number 2 here corresponds to this power of m. And hence, if you know this, you can replace it as 2 to the power of m over n, so it should be 2/5, like this, and it's 2 to the power of 2/5. And finally, we have part D, in which there is a fraction 1 over the third root of 16. Okay, now we can replace number 16 by a convenient power of 2. What 2 to what power is 16? When you think about it, you see that it's 2 to the power of 4. Okay, so we can write it as the third root, 1 over the third root of 2 to the power of 4. Now I'm going to use the same formula, which is here, the same law, to replace the denominator, so it's just 1 over, and then we have to write 2 to the power of 4/3. Okay, so the only thing that's left here is to replace this fraction by a single power of 2, and this time again let us use this formula here, that a to the power of negative exponent minus n is 1 over a to the power of n. So using this, we can rewrite it as 2 to the power of minus 4/3. And this is the answer.